Battle through the firmament. Great world. Chapter 469. Breaking into the execution department. Close to dusk, above the heavenly peak where Shaoyan was, there was a bright glow. Dense origin kiss covered this place. After Zuna and Kalen took care of it, it was like a paradise for flowers and plants. A flowing light streaked across the sky and landed on the heavenly peak. Before Shaoyan could land, Kalen's somewhat cold voice was transmitted over. "May I know what is the purpose of the Elder's visit?" As he spoke, Shaoyan sensed a key rushing over. Not long after, a beautiful figure had already appeared in front of him. Shaoyan. Kalen was slightly startled when she saw Shaoyan. Her red lips parted slightly and the origin kiss that lingered around her body instantly scattered. With a soft cry, she suddenly pounced forward and burrowed into Shaoyan's embrace. Her beautiful eyes were also slightly red at this moment. "You have finally returned." As he tightly hugged Kalen's slender waist and heard the latter's soft whisper beside his ear, Shaoyan could not suppress the emotions in his heart. His hand caressed Kalen's black hair and smelled the delicate fragrance on her hair. He muttered to himself, "I'm back." After a few moments of warmth, Kalen broke free from Shaoyan's arms. Her pretty face returned to a cold look. She held Shaoyan's hands and looked carefully at the latter's entire body. Shaoyan was about to open his mouth when Kalen's willowy eyebrows were already vertical as she softly scolded, "Why didn't you tell me that Zuna and the 4 Academies competition are in such danger?" The danger of the 4 Academies competition was also after Shaoyan and the others had left. They had learned from Elder Shao that during the competition, students could die at any time, and after learning the strength of the 5 participants from the Star Sky Academy, the 2 girls couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat for Shaoyan. They knew Shaoyan's character very well. If he had a stubborn temper, who knew what he would do? "I only found out when I got there. You can't blame me. Look, I'm fine." Facing Kalen's question, Shaoyan looked innocent. He spread his hands and said helplessly, "Humph. If you dare to do anything, this king will not agree." "How is the competition this time?" From some of the elders, Kalen knew about the crisis that Yunlo Academy was facing and asked softly. "I was lucky enough to get first place." The corner of Shaoyan's mouth raised slightly, and his tone was calm. To him, he still couldn't understand the excitement of Su Jiang and the others. Furthermore, Yuvmu's escape had greatly reduced the excitement in his heart. "First place, the 5 participants of the Star Sky Academy are no match for you." A trace of shock flashed across her beautiful eyes. Kalen said in astonishment, "It's complicated to say." Shaoyan smiled bitterly. If Yuvmu hadn't appeared, the Yunlo Academy and the Star Sky Academy would have been at a disadvantage in a one-on-one battle. After all, the 5 men from the Star Sky Academy were too powerful. "Is it husband Shaoyan who has returned?" Suddenly, Zuna's voice came from afar. Shaoyan's face lit up when he heard her voice. Just as he was about to speak, he furrowed his brows. He could hear a hint of weakness from her words. Very quickly, Zuna appeared in front of Shaoyan. She was wearing a purple dress, which perfectly accentuated her figure. The green jade belt was tied around her waist. She had a slim figure and her black hair was draped over her shoulders. Her gentle jade-like face was exquisite and her moving eyes were blinking with surprise. "Zuna, what happened to you?" Shaoyan immediately noticed the trace of paleness on Zuna's pretty face. Immediately, his face darkened. He went forward and grabbed Zuna's hand and asked urgently. The injuries that he had suffered in the illusory spirit space had been completely healed after consuming the poison-dissolving pill. How could his face still be so pale? "It's fine, husband Shaoyan, don't worry. It's just a small injury." Zuna smiled and looked at Shaoyan with a warm gaze. "Husband Shaoyan, you are finally back. Zuna missed you so much. Tell me, I will be sad if you do this." Shaoyan hugged Zuna in his arms and muttered to himself. His expression was a little gloomy. Hearing this, Zuna's eyes turned slightly red. She extended her delicate hand and hugged Shaoyan's waist. She softly said, "A few days ago, When Sister Lin went to Capital of Chaos to train, she was chased by the people from the ancient Wood clan. At that time, Sister Lin was at the critical moment of her advancement. In order to force those people to retreat, she used a few drops of blood essence to forcefully increase her strength. And it became like this. Boom! Xiaoyan's mind suddenly exploded. He looked at Kaylin and saw that she was being chased by the Gumu people. At that time, Sister Lin had reached the critical moment of her advancement. His expression was somewhat savage as he said, "How is this possible? The students of the Yunlo Academy are going out to train. Their whereabouts should not be known by outsiders." Seeing Xiaoyan's expression, Kaylin let out a soft sigh. "I don't know either. We originally wanted to go to Mount Gumu and ask the elders of Punishment Department about it. However, as soon as we arrived there, we were chased by the Gumu army without doing anything." Punishment Department. Upon hearing this, Xiaoyan's facial expression changed. His brain spun rapidly, as if he had thought of something. His eyes suddenly turned sharp, and endless fury instantly surged into his mind. "Did you ask that elder called Weitong? It seems to be an elder with the surname Wei, Elder Tianwu." Before Zuna could finish speaking, Xiaoyan was unable to restrain the fury in his heart. The tip of his foot suddenly stomped on the ground and soared into the sky. The red origin key on his back flapped its wings, and he had already rushed towards the direction of the Punishment Department. Husband Xiaoyan. Zuna was startled when she saw Xiaoyan leaving. She was just about to speak when Kaylin stopped her. The latter looked at Xiaoyan's disappearing figure. A gentle smile appeared on the charming face. "Let him go. Let those old guys in the academy know that our men have the ability to protect us." Zuna was slightly stunned when she heard that. Then, she smiled comfortably and nodded lightly. Chi. There was an unconcealable fury in his eyes. Killing intent surged in Xiaoyan's heart. Not long after, he had already arrived above the Punishment Department. He let out a cold snort and landed in front of the Punishment Department like a meteorite. "Who is it?" Xiaoyan had just landed when the dozens of students guarding the front of the Punishment Department sensed something. A student who looked like the leader of the group stepped forward and spoke in a deep voice. "All of you, move aside." Xiaoyan's cold gaze swept across everyone. He said in a cold voice. The ki around his body spread out, instantly causing the expressions of these monic spirit students to change. All of them stepped back one after another. This kind of ki was comparable to some of the elders. "You are a senior from the realm in Valley." Ever since the competition in Realm in Valley, most of the people in Punishment Department had been eliminated. This captain was also promoted not long ago, so he didn't know who Xiaoyan was. "I told you to move aside." Forcibly holding back the surging killing intent in his heart, Xiaoyan said in a deep voice once again, his tone full of killing intent. The captain took a step back in fear. His expression trembled and he swallowed a mouthful of water. "Wrong. Let me report to the elder." Before he finished his words, Xiaoyan could no longer suppress the fury in his heart. He pushed aside the few students who were blocking his path. With a flash, he had already entered the main hall. "Weitong, get the hell out here." A furious shout mixed with origin kiss reverberated throughout the entire main hall. It was like a continuous buzzing of thunder, causing the few students who were guarding the main hall to be stunned. For a moment, they were unable to react in time. "Who is making a ruckus here?" As the voice faded, not long after, a vigorous shout suddenly sounded out. Very quickly, several elders walked out in large strides. At the same time, many guards rushed over from all directions and surrounded Xiaoyan. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.